Warning! This video is intended for educational and MS documentary purposes. The host, Jenny, of the podcast show, The Demon Within, is not a doctor or any type of professional medical advisor.
I am a warrior.
They tell you that when you get sick, your true friends will stand by you. Your family, the ones that love you, they'll understand. They paint a picture of a circle of people holding hands, a fortress against the storm. But in the world of multiple sclerosis, that circle doesn't always hold. Have you ever looked around a room and realized it's gotten quieter? Have you noticed the seats at your table slowly being left empty? It's not a sudden exit. It's a haunting. It's a slow fade into the mist. Welcome back to The Demon Within, Surviving MS. I'm your host, Jenny. Today, we're not talking about the lesions on your brain. We're talking about the lesions in your social life. We're talking about the Vanishing Circle. When the MS demon first moves in, everyone shows up with casseroles and a get well soon card. But MS isn't a guest that leaves. It's a squatter. And as the weeks turn into years, the people around you, they start to realize that the so-called old you isn't coming back to play. Let's talk about the fog. People don't usually leave because they're mean. They leave because they're afraid. They look at you and they see a mirror of their own mortality. They see the cane, the wheelchair, or just the blank stare of cog fog. And they don't know what to say. So they say nothing. The texts stop coming, the invites to grab a quick drink vanish because they know a quick drink for you involves a 2-day recovery period. Or if you're me, it's more like a 3-day recovery period. You, the MS patient, have become complicated. And in a fast-paced world, the complicated are often left behind in the woods. Think back to your inner circle on the day of your diagnosis. Close your eyes. Who is still standing in the light? And who has slipped away in the shadows? And let's be honest, we're in the new year. Matter of fact, happy 2026. I know I'm a little late to wish everyone a happy New Year's, but since we are in the new year and into a new start, this brings me to the holidays, which are some of the hardest time for MS patients. Nowhere is a demon more visible than the holiday table. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, and let's not forget birthdays. Because boy, oh boy, I know my family personally, from like November to January, there are birthdays back to back. And August. Multiple birthdays. Days like those, they're supposed to be celebrations, right? But when you have MS, the demon remains the head of the table. You're sitting there, surrounded by family. But you're in a different dimension. Let's talk about the sensory overload with MS. Clinking of forks sounds like thunder. The bright dining room lights feel like interrogation lamps. Now, let's talk about what we all know how to do as MS warriors. Pretend. The performance. You're exhausted. Your nerves are misfiring, sending electric shocks down your spine. but you're smiling. You're performing wellness for the sake of the guest. That's right. This is about the only thing us MS patients know how to do. We don't fake we're sick. We fake we're okay. We do that to make everyone else around us feel comfortable. Because if you mention the pain, the mood dies. If you have to go lay down before the pie is served, you see that look in their eyes. The mix of pity and frustration. You are the uninvited guest at your own party. As I've talked about in my last episode that kind of happened to me for my Christmas get-together, my family was very understanding and very empathetic and compassionate about what I was going through. However, I'm usually able to perform a lot better that I'm okay. I couldn't do it that day. The pain was unbearable, and it hurt me to see the look of hurt on their face, and everybody went home early. I couldn't do it. I felt really bad about that. I wanted everyone to feel like they've always felt in my home. Warm, invited, good laughter. But that wasn't the case this time around. I couldn't put on a smile. I couldn't put on the performance that I needed to. So my pajama party really wasn't a party. It was a get-together. It was very small and intimate. And by the time my family arrived, I was in pain and extremely exhausted. I made the best of it. I smiled and I took lots of photos. I laughed and made sure I talked to everyone who attended. As time progressed, my smile faded. Not because I wanted my guests to leave or I wasn't having a great time. I was really happy to be with my family and I was having a great time. My smile faded because of the amount of pain I was in. And although everyone was really understanding, as I've said, and they were there when I needed them to be, giving me hugs and seeing what they could do to help, they literally... And I understand. I mean, it wasn't the same. It just wasn't. I wasn't the same. I'm not the same. I am different. Usually my parties are loud with music, so much food I could feed an army, and lots of drinks, alcoholic beverages. But this time, it wasn't even a little bit like that. It was quiet. There was movies playing. We had hot cocoa and popcorn. It was very subtle. I wasn't the hyped host I usually am. Just, I'm not the same anymore. And that's okay. I've accepted it, and I think my family is accepting it little by little. And this was actually the first time my family had seen me in a walker without having like an injury, like a sprain or something. This was the first time that I couldn't walk on my own. I needed help with that walker. There were moments I was just talking to some of them, and all of a sudden, I would topple over. Something I thought I would never do in front of anyone. You know, the wonderful lightning bolt pain we sometimes get. It hit me really hard during my get-together with my family, and needless to say, I was embarrassed. They had never seen that. They didn't know what it was, and I had a hard time explaining it to them. But I know once they start watching my podcast, they'll start to better understand what I go through, what we go through as MS warriors, and have more knowledge on what I'm going through and what we're all going through out there. During my get-together, there was a lot of times I had to sit down. I couldn't take the pain anymore. And holding back my tears, I know my face was probably red the whole time. I was just sucking it all back. I didn't want to cry. At that moment, I realized I'm pushing myself too hard. As I discussed in our last episode, we know our limits, and you should not push past your limits. And I was definitely pushing past my limits. And I had to let everyone know that was the last get-together I will ever be able to host for Christmas. I have to pass the torch to another family member because I can no longer do it. As much as I love and enjoy cooking and decorating, I just can't do it no more. It's not like I don't have the excitement for the holidays because I'm like a little kid. I love the holidays. I love Christmas. I love Thanksgiving, love Halloween, and I decorate for all of them. I just can't cook the amount of food I used to and the cleaning, and it's just exhausting. And I am definitely pushing myself past my limits. So the smart thing to do when you feel that way is to stop. The people in your life that love you will completely understand because I know my family did when I announced this is our last get together in my home. They totally understood. As much as it hurts me, you see, this chronic illness, the MS demon, eats first. It eats your energy. It eats your ability to follow the conversation, and eventually, it eats the joy of the gathering until you'd rather just stay in the dark, alone, where you don't have to apologize for being broken. During my Christmas pajama party, I was apologizing to my family the whole time they were there. For the simple fact that I couldn't carry on a conversation, I was in so much pain, I had to sit in between conversations, could not stand, and I was with a walker. It was too much. The biggest question is, how do we survive the vanishing? How do we handle the isolation when the walls feel like they're closing in? First, we have to stop chasing the ghosts, aka your family and friends. If someone chooses to stay in the fog because your reality is too much for them, let them go. Your energy is a limited resource. Don't spend it haunting the people who left. My family is ride or die. They left the party early, but as far as my life goes, they will not leave my life. And that is a very wonderful thing to know, that my family's always got my back. They might not always understand the things I go through with multiple sclerosis, but they're there. As far as people who don't want to be there, all you MS warriors, don't waste your time and energy. Our time is limited. Our energy is limited. Our life is very important, and we have to enjoy each moment of it. And peace. Peace is the greatest thing you can give yourself. So why not give yourself peace?
Hold that thought, everyone. We're briefly evicting the demon within for a quick word from the folks who keep our lights on and our infusion chairs comfortable. Stay tuned. We'll be back to wrestling the beast in just a moment. The demon within will return after these messages, provided we can remember where we left the microphone.
Samantha Stacy started the Cute Cane Shop after being diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. As a young cane user, she couldn't find anything that matched her style and personality. Samantha loves creating custom designs for the young and young at heart. Her amazing canes were featured in Coat magazine. Visit her shop on Etsy at cutecaneshopetsy.com.
Hey, I'm Sam, the owner of Cute Cane Shop, and this is just a reminder that your cane or mobility aid does not ruin your outfit.
And as compassionate and understanding as my family was during this get-together, I can honestly see how harder it is for me to be around people. Anyone, actually. I don't want to see anyone suffering just because I'm suffering. That's an inner battle I go through every day of my life. So, let's discuss what's second in how to survive the vanishing. We find the ghouls like us. Hey, my peoples. Our fellow warriors. There is a specific kind of beauty in the friends who aren't afraid of the dark. The ones who will sit in the quiet with you. The ones who don't ask, "Are you feeling okay?" Because they already know, and they brought a blanket and a movie. My fellow warriors know how irritating it is to be asked, "Are you feeling okay today?" What are we supposed to say when people ask that? "I'm okay. I'm fine." No. Since MS is the invisible illness, we have to play the part. Even if my legs feel like they've been replaced by 2 wet noodles, we have to bullshit our way through it. Because if I say, "I'm not fine," I know what's coming next. The unsolicited medical advice or the religious lecture on how to have more faith to be cured. To avoid this, I just say, I'm great. So I don't have to explain that my immune system thinks my nervous system is a snack. Going back to my Christmas party, I wish I had faked it better. I just couldn't get past the pain that day. It's the first time my smile cracked and I couldn't bullshit my way out of it. To all my MS warriors, or anyone facing any kind of autoimmune illness, your circle might get smaller now. It might be a tiny fraction of what it once was. But the people left standing, they are the ones who aren't afraid of the MS demon. They are the real ones. When you have multiple sclerosis, your social circle undergoes a stress test. As we discussed, some people disappear because they can't handle the unpredictability, while others stick around, becoming what we call the real ones. Let's talk about those people and why the hardest part of keeping them isn't the MS. It's learning to let them actually help. Raise your hand if you have a hard time letting people help you. I know I do. So let's discuss identifying the real ones. The real ones aren't necessarily the ones who show up with medical journals and advice. They're the ones who don't make you explain. They see you leaning against the wall and just slide over a chair without a word. They're okay with the cancel. They don't take it personally when you have to bail on dinner at the last minute because your legs decided to go on strike. The real ones speak the quiet language of MS warriors. They know that I'm fine actually means I'm struggling, but I don't have the energy to describe it yet. Part 2, the barrier to accepting help. This is the hard one, you guys. Opening up is terrifying because MS often feels like a slow theft of your independence. When someone offers to do your grocery shopping or drive you to an appointment, it can feel like you're signing over another piece of your capable self. Let's talk about the psychological hurdles and what they usually look like. So we're going to talk about the burden myth. You think, I don't want to be that sick friend who everyone has to take care of. Now, I'm still struggling with that guilty aspect of having to need help from others, but with the progression of the MS demon, I'm starting to learn that no matter how I'm feeling, my physical well-being can depend on the help of others. I'm learning to be more vulnerable by letting people inside and telling them what I need help with. This next one I like to call the vulnerability hangover. You feel exposed when someone sees you at your weakest. Maybe when you're struggling to use a fork or can't find a simple word. I go through not finding words all the time. All the time. Let's go back to the pajama party I hosted for Christmas. It's really the first time that all my family seen me struggle with this illness. They witnessed my inability to stand for long periods of time, as I've talked about, the severe pain I was in, and the trouble to speak clearly the whole time. The look of sorrow on their faces was the hardest thing I ever had to go through with MS, especially my father. It's really hard going through this. I think it doesn't matter how many years you've had it, whether you've just been diagnosed or you've had it for years like I have, 20 plus years. It never stops being hard. It is a constant battle, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. You go through it all. The next psychological hurdle is the loss of control. If they do it for you, you're admitting you can't do it yourself. Here's the thing with MS. We have a hard time admitting that there are things that we can no longer do that we used to do. It almost feels like defeat when we have to accept help from someone else. But here's the thing. We need to realize that we're only hurting ourselves When we don't let the people that are offering help actually help. I'm so guilty of that. I'm learning little by little. I'm not saying no to help anymore. I can't afford to. So let's get to the part 3 of this. This is how to open up without losing yourself. Accepting help isn't a sign of defeat. It's a tactical maneuver to save your energy for the things that actually matter. Here's how to start letting the real ones in. Number 1, the specific task method. Vague offers like, "Let me know if you need anything," are hard to accept. Instead, give them a specific low-stakes mission like, "If you're going to the store, could you grab me a gallon of milk? It would save me a trip when my fatigue is high." It gives them a win and takes the weight off of you. Number 2, practice selective vulnerability. You don't have to give a 45-minute lecture on your latest MRI. Start small. Example: "I'm having a high symptom day today, so I'm a bit slower. Just wanted you to know why I'm quiet." This sets the expectation without requiring a deep emotional dive. I have definitely been practicing this, especially with my kids and my spouse. There are days where I don't talk much, and I'm a yapper. Hello, I'm a podcaster. I like to talk. But there are days where I don't have the energy to talk. And I'm not smiling, and it's not because I'm upset or unhappy. It's because I am drained from my energy. Even if it's first thing in the morning, all of you out there who have a chronic illness know you wake up tired. You wake up feeling like you've done 1,000 things without actually doing them. Number 3, reframe help as connection. The real ones want to help because they love you. When you shut them out to protect them, you're actually depriving them of a way to show you that love. Think of it this way. By letting them help with the laundry, you're saving your energy to actually enjoy a conversation with them later. I would personally like to give a note to the real ones. If you're the friend of an MS patient or family member, the best thing you can do is offer passive help. Don't ask what I can do. Instead say, "I'm picking up some Chinese food. What would you like as your side item? I know you like lo mein." Or, "I'm coming over to fold your laundry while we watch a movie. Don't get up." Those things make all the difference when someone with a chronic illness hears that, because you're not making them feel like they're a pity party. You're making them feel like you're the real one. You're a true friend, a true family member, someone who really loves them and actually wants to help. And you're not really giving them an option, which kind of works out because majority of the time, if you ask someone with multiple sclerosis, they will say, "I'm okay. I'm fine. I don't need help." It's a lie. It's all a lie. We always need help. We just have a very hard time of accepting it. We don't want to be the pity party. We don't want to feel defeated, feel incapable. So we lie. We lie to our family, our friends, and ourselves. If you're listening to this from a dark room or feel like the world has forgotten about you, I see you. The MS demon wants you to think you're alone because isolation makes it easier to break. But you're tuned in here. I'm here. You're here. We are a circle of our own, full of warriors, even if we're miles apart. Don't let the vanishing scare you. The stars are only visible when the lights go out. I'm your host, Jenny, and this was The Demon Within, Surviving MS. Stay brave, stay loud, and don't let the fog swallow you whole. And let me tell you, none of you are alone out there. We're all in this together. Say it loud, say it proud. Go Warriors! Bye, you guys.
Is blessed. No matter what obstacles she faces, she finds a way to make it through. She's a survivor and a champion, and there's nothing that can be said or done that can ever take that away from her. This woman is blessed. Believe it, she's a champion. Living without stress. Believe it, she's a champion. This woman is blessed. Believe it, she's a champion.